My friends, I'm super excited to be here with you and to share this moment of happiness and joy. I want to thank you for taking time watching this. You might be doing something else, listening to my mumbling and rumbling. Perhaps I recommended you to watch this, or perhaps a friend recommended and you said, well, let me check out this crazy guy, Matteo. So I want to thank you. I really want to praise you. I want to appreciate you for taking time and celebrate you that, in this crazy time of change, anxiety, stress, you took time to watch this and you might be intrigued by today's topic, which is how to make friendships as an expat or how to build friendship as an expat. And this video connects a little bit to the last video where I was talking about how to integrate yourself as an expat and what it means to move to a different country and what challenges come along. So perhaps visit that video. But I also want to share today a little bit about my background and repeat some of the things that I said throughout the journey. If you join me on this little sessions that we have and on this little trip we have together, I really believe that all of us have a journey. All of us go somewhere in life, whether that's moving abroad or just living in your country, but trying to make the ends meet and really figure out, okay, I'm here, my parents were like this and I want to be there. And one thing that really predominantly drove me or has driven me in my life is really the vision to go further than my parents have. And I know a lot of people don't know about this and I don't talk about it so often, but I decided also throughout this journey of this personal development and really talking about things a bit more openly, not to overshare because nobody is interested in my little struggles. You're interested in how you can solve your challenges. So this is why we are here. We are here together. And in this journey, I want to encourage you when you're watching this to really think about where you're going. If you watch this, you're probably an expat. Maybe you're considering to move in a different country. I just have a few people that I'm talking currently who actually asked me, hey, I know you moved around a lot and you integrated quite well and you managed this really well and that really well. What did you do and what can I do? So if you're that person and you're on that crossroad, I want to really again celebrate you for being brave. One thing that really helped me back then, because I had those naysayers in my life, whether that was from my direct family, but even indirect friends who just doubted the fact that I could ever make it abroad because I grew up on a farm and I, had to take care of the cattle. And he said, you're stupid, you're never going to make it. And years later, when I was living abroad, these people contacted me and said, well, we never, thought it's possible and doubted you. And even until today, I know there are some family members who are jealous, who just check in to figure out whether I have better life than they have. And if you have, I just want to set the tone and then we move into these topics. I want to set the stage really clear. If your purpose, and that's been for myself a long time, to get back at some people and show them I'm better, I'm stronger, I am, more this, more that, I have more money, more this, more that, you're doing it from ego. And this will backfire. Maybe not directly, but you will be building the life for the wrong reasons. You will be chasing those things for getting back at people. Perhaps it's that you work long hours and you're like, well, I will outwork everybody. It's great if you do it for your own self-esteem and okay, I'm becoming a better human being. But a lot of times, if you really go deeper from our head to what's really going on here, we figure out really quickly that there is some baggage that we bring in with us from wherever we are from, and we actually have sometimes not the right reasons to do things. It might take us somewhere. These reasons might help us overcome challenges, be stronger, be determined. But if your purpose and your goal is to build really authentic, strong relationships as an expat, you will need to question all of this. So I don't want to scare you because I know it's hard. It can be hard to be an expat on its own. But if you really want to be a solid, awesome human being, first class, excellent, outstanding, and you want to be magnetic, then listen. then I got a few things for you. Few little things that might help you. One, and the first one is being an empathizer. One thing that helped me abroad a lot is to really be an empathizer, to understand what other human beings want and how I can meet them halfway. Perhaps it's where I come from because I come from humble beginnings. As I, talk about my journey, working hard, waking up early, but also being growing up in this depressed town where people were bullied, and it was hard also for myself, my family to, and not to integrate really because we moved to that town when I was still, not born really. But just the whole environment there, jealous people, all these different things, it just happens when the town is depressed, poor. So it it brings with it a lot of challenges and a lot of differences in class, etc. So sometimes being an empathizer can come really from this because you realize when you come to a different country, first you're nobody, nobody cares about you, but also you realize, hey, for me to make it, I will need to make friends. And for me, perhaps also because where I came from, I knew that if I try to be hostile, if I try to do that aggressiveness that I have experienced firsthand and sometimes perhaps even was part of, and learn from, I realized this is not the way. If somebody's aggressive, it doesn't mean I have to be aggressive as well. And especially if you're in abroad, again, you're nobody, you need to integrate. People don't care about you on a number million, million, million. So being an empathizer towards yourself, but also towards others and being open will help you to integrate a bit better. Second thing that will help you a lot, and we talked about a previous video more about how to integrate in the culture, but here really about how to make friends, right? So you want to make friends. And if you empathize with them first and you actually know what makes them tick, they will try to gravitate towards you. That comes also with the second point, being an optimist. When you're an internal optimist, and I encourage you really dial this one down because people don't like to hang out with people who are negative, pessimistic, who complain all the time. Think about the friend, the family, every time you meet, they just complain, they blurt it all out and say, oh, I wish life would be like that, the politics wouldn't be like this. You're like, yeah, but you can't do anything about it. What can you control? That you will work on yourself, that you will be better, that you will become a better human being. And I encourage you really to treat your life like this and others as well, because when you do that, it comes again to back what I said. What's your vision? Where you want to go? How you want the friendships to feel for you? How you want that people make you feel? And how do you want to perceive the entire friendship circle? But also, you want to understand how you make others feel. Because when others make you feel good, you probably want to make them feel good as well. This is kind of the law of reciprocity. So I encourage you to think about it a bit broadly and set a tiny vision for yourself. It doesn't have to be, you overthink it and spend days like, oh, I want friendships like this. It will evolve as you go along, but it will really help you. Point number three, be a peacekeeper. Nobody loves people who are aggressive. We live in this time and age which is super hard because of change, because of politics, because of egos, one country attacking the other. We see it all over the world. We've seen it for millennia, and somehow human beings never learn. They always need this feeling like we need to attack, we need to get more resources, we need to grow. And again, that comes from ego. We want to come from being humble, being the learner, being the good human being that actually encourages and tries to make an impact and make other people better. So if you're a peacekeeper in your circle of friends, when other try to escalate the situation and argue, you say, hey guys, what is the goal here? And sometimes you can really help, sometimes you can really influence. So that's a good thing. But sometimes you will figure out that you're in a circle of friends where you just got to step out, say, hey, these are not my friends. This is not how I want my life to be run. Because imagine, and you've heard this, and I've experienced it myself when I was growing up and being around those complainers, being around those bullies, it dawns on you, not that you become part of it, but you are pulled into it. If you can choose to be part of positive, optimistic people who empathize with others, you will feel better and you will want more of that because people want goodness. People don't want, crime and violence. People like to be adored. People like to this whole community and tribe feeling. So I encourage you to do that. One thing I also want you to be is a coach. I want you to really think about one, coaching others. So you will challenge yourself. So you will pay attention to how you make people feel, but also how is the dynamic, right? What we're talking about, other people empathizing with others, are other people being as really peacekeepers. So you kind of display these characteristics and you want to gauge how is it in a group and keep that. Hey guys, I see we are now negative. Why are we negative? Hey, let's try to figure it out. Let's be solution oriented. So you really try to keep this optimism as a fuel in the group rather than keeping, the whatever comes, whatever really rocks the group. And see, we are talking about being proactive rather than just sitting. Sometimes you're sitting on the sidelines and observing, but as you get familiar more with the international scene, you start realizing, hey, I want to be more about these type of people. I want to be less around those. And it's not to judge and say you're better and you're worse. No, it's about what you want, and everybody's different, and everybody likes something different. So, last point, I want you really, and that's probably the biggest point of them all, if you want to build authentic friendships, people like confidence. And not in an egoistic way, but in a, you know, natural, authentic way. What will build confidence and to really empower yourself with the self-belief. Hey, I can make it. I'm a good human being. I want to make an impact. I want to help others to be better and be that type of human being who actually resonates this and shares this goodness with others. When you do that along the way, you will start becoming more authentic and more consistent with who you are, and people will gravitate towards you. And this is probably the last point which I just touched upon: consistency. When you display all of these characteristics, from empathy and self-belief and pacekeeper and really optimism, things start to fall into play. And obviously these are only few, but they are quite key, and those helped me a lot abroad to build these authentic friendships and different groups of people, and said, I really want to be in charge. I don't want to just, sometimes you come in a group and I have not built that group, so who am I to try to wreck it? But you can always bring a new light. You can bring a new positivity, new optimism, new ideas, and that helps a lot. And sometimes people like it, and they're like, "I want to hang out with that guy. He's magnetic. He's cool. He's really outgoing, and he's giving." So, but often you will be put in a position, and I encourage you to do that. If you don't have those right friends right now, even on the international scene, I don't want to say you're doing something wrong, but you didn't take enough ownership of building those groups. And I know this is hard because I've done it for a long time, and I know how hard it is to keep relationship with different people, different countries on different levels. But this is the key for fulfilling life. When you have the right people around you, you bring this authenticity and this energy into the life of yourself and of other people. And this is probably when it starts to get very interesting. When you go from me to us, from, been there to we've been there. When you go from I have to do everything by myself to, well, let's do it as a tribe. There was this book from Mr. Junger, if I'm not mistaken. It's called The Tribe, where he talks about history and how he used to be and as a tribe, and versus, how we are today. And I probably talk this about this point a lot, the curse of the West, where people are striving a lot by themselves, especially as a foreigner, as an expat. You will get into this situation where you will want to kind of sit on your laurels, sit back and wait how things are. And this is a good strategy to observe when you move somewhere, you don't know the scene, you don't know the situation, and you try to figure out, okay, is this for me? Is this group? Do I like these people? So you're always balancing, I'm getting to know myself better with how is the group dynamic and who's the leader and how can I, insert myself in at the right time with the right people. So it's very sensitive topic. But being a tribe, group, community gives you amazing benefits, in a sense of you can share, you can exchange around different opinions, different things, you can grow together, and you can learn from the other people, from their mistakes, from their challenges. How did they do it in different industries? So I really encourage you on this self path of growth, and you as a leader, which you are, to really empower yourself with the thought of, I don't have to do it alone. Okay, I need these characteristics that we just talked about, from empathizer to self-believer to pacekeeper to optimist, and all these different things, to really dialing down, hey, what type of people I want to have in my life. Okay, I have my family, I have my friends, I have all these people that I love, but perhaps they are maintenance friends, so I need to keep them because they will never go away. But I need more of these people who actually challenge me and who will give me new ideas. That will mean, on one side, you will also need to go out of your comfort zone as an expat and to expand your horizons and say, I will do this. It feels uncomfortable. I feel challenged. I feel scared. I don't know what the next step gonna be for me because I never tried to network with other people. I never tried to do different things. On that note, check out the blog around networking and also perhaps get an ebook on mastering body, mind, and life so you can really dial that down for yourself, these different principles, and dial down who you are and what strategies can help you to get you towards this holistic, awesome leader. So I hope this really gave you an additional thought and food for the thoughts so that you know you're in charge when you are in an expat and you want to build relationships. And one thing, I want to give you this final thought that helped me a lot in my life. One reason why I love so fanatically to learn from others is because I know I can take this, what they do in their domain, in their kind of particular business, and make it mine. I can intertwine it into my character, internalize it, and say, okay, well, they are from finance and they've been very successful at this. How could I do it for my own well being or for my own leadership? Or perhaps, how could I take this particular career path, or perhaps this human being, this particular trait, like being outgoing, being optimist, and being like ultra networking guru? How can I make myself a better networker? How can I just do this tiny step today? So then in, couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years, I'm really proud that, I create this group of people and everybody's happy to be there, but especially I'm happy by myself. So forget the results, forget doing it from the selfish reasons for yourself. You do it to really make an impact, and this is kind of the highlight of everything we talked about today. First part of your life, you will focus on making yourself stronger. You will need to learn what it means to be a leader. Really, this self leadership we talked about with Timmy Orath. If you haven't heard these sessions, check them out. But also, you will eventually need to start to learn to lead organization, which is kind of the ultimate thing. But in between, you might lead a team, you might build an organization yourself. So a lot of this kind of, I call it the foundation, and the hidden traits will make you so strong so you can really build those organizations, those indestructible teams, because they will gravitate and they will have this energy, this self-sustaining energy, because it's not dependent on you, it's dependent on each and every individual, because they work every day on themselves, and they try to be authentic and stronger. So, guys, there you have it. You can be an awesome expat when you decide to work on yourself and have these traits, from optimism to self belief to empathy, to really dialing down these, peacekeeping and coaching yourself traits. You will eventually be a really strong and good sparring partner. So I wish you an amazing day, and until the next time, stay awesome.